So this is the last week I'll be working. This is Monday. And they've got so many trucks on the yard, you can't hardly park anywhere. But it is a fact, or I've been told by one of the higher ups, that it was actually a shock to them when they got the email. They were surprised, so they didn't know anything. That's what I was told by a higher up. That's so weird. I saw this company going out of business. I saw it so clearly. I denied it at first when the inclination came, but I opened my eyes and I watched things going on. And about a month or so out, I was like, my level of certainty kept creeping up all the way up to, as the closer we got to that email, that week I was 90% sure this is over, 90% sure. And I got the email that was the last 10%. It's so strange. I'm smart enough to have seen from the bottom the demise of the whole company, but not smart enough to be quite prepared for it. Yeah, that's where I rank in the smartness of the galaxy. It's useless intelligence. Like, it's useless. But it is kind of satisfying knowing, well, I was right. I was right. And now it looks like all my other options are compromises. Eternal compromises. Like, the compromises aren't going to change. Everything's further away from my house. It's a big deal. I don't like to drive, ironically, too far from my house. So I will have another job, but it won't be convenient. It doesn't look like it'll be convenient. So that's all I got. It's my last day. One of my first videos at Stevens Taker was a safety lane, I think. Waiting in the safety lane. I made my first video. I think it was 35 seconds or so, just to get my feet wet, so to speak. And yeah, there's not many people here, not many guys driving. They all found jobs. I'm gonna hopefully find out today whether I have a job that I interviewed for Wednesday. Spent an hour talking to me, not asking a lot of questions, but basically telling me about the company. And even though he had 5 applications on his desk, he wanted to meet with me first because I lived in town. He took one of the, and he says, this guy lives in Schertz, I'd rather hire somebody closer. And I said, 8 minutes away. So we'll see how that works. With 2 job openings and 5 people, minus the guy in Schertz, which seems lower on the list, I should have about a 45% chance of getting that job. But it might, that's statistical, but it might be higher because I think they might prefer me for whatever reason. That's what it sounded like through the language he was using. So I still don't know, but this is my last day and I'm going on vacation next week, if you want to call it that. Yeah, it's a vacation to me, men's retreat, and I'll be making videos. And I'll be making some videos today just to document my last day. I'm feeling normal, not feeling sad. Every other day has been mostly up and down. One day's great, next day not so great. But the last couple of days since Wednesday, maybe Tuesday, because Tuesday morning was hard. But we found that job in Seguin and it looked hopeful, and so it's put my mind at rest. So I've been through the stages of grief 2 times, one before the email and one time after the email, all the stages. So right now I'm in the acceptance stage again, or denial. I don't know. I might be cycling through the new phase unless I get that job in Seguin. So that's where I'm at right now. It almost never rains, but on my last day, it rains. I have a raincoat, but I almost never use it. But looks like I'll be using it today. I'm the only guy on Murphy of 3 dedicated drivers. One stayed home. The other one came to work, but decided he's going to turn his stuff in and go home. So there's a chance that I'll be working out in the rain. Very high chance. Very possible. Here. I just called the ROC, Murphy. I don't know what ROC stands for. But they're like the central dispatcher or whatever of Murphy. They just changed their shift, so they every other week or whatever. Do I look like crazy or what? Yeah, I didn't shave. It's my last day. Didn't comb my hair. Got my Stevens hat. Last day of wearing it as a Stevens tanker. I didn't really wear hats much. Do I look like a mess or what? That's okay. Good enough for YouTube. So yeah, it doesn't sound like they have anything, but I told them I'm the only guy of 3 trucks that we're supposed to have. One guy called off. Did I say that already? There's the PWT for production, which are already paying for me, so I could run production, but they don't do that. I'm going to say the same thing I thought when I started with Stevens. I'm like, wow, they must have a really good, healthy profit margin because there's a lot of wasted money out here. Murphy has 3 dedicated trucks, probably because they don't want to have to call a truck when they have bottoms to be pulled and stuff. So anyway, that's the update. So far nothing, but if they come up with something, usually they'll have me pull bottoms here at the Gilbert East. They have trucks coming to get the oil and the water. So we'll see what happens today. I've got plenty of stuff I can do while I'm waiting. Like make videos talking about my experience. Just turned in my tools. I call them tools, they're fittings. But there it was. Signed the paperwork. Maybe I'll get my $600 back or whatever it was. They take the money in as a deposit. I don't know what it was. Whatever it was, maybe I'll get it back. We're supposed to. That's all she wrote, as they say. I am driving away for the last time from Stevens Tanked Division. Tanked Division. Yeah, it's a weird thought. It reminds me of when I left the Army. I had a moment when I walked away after 6 years of service, and I was optimistic at the time. I ended up going back after 2 years. Because, you know, recession, and I lost my business and everything else. I needed that money. So I'm leaving here not knowing for sure if I'm going to work or if I can have a job. That's alright. There's unemployment or fun employment. We'll figure something out. I'm going on vacation next week. The men's retreat. That's where I'm going. So, that's it. I'm going to log off now, do something else, listen to something, forget I just had a last day here. Later. Bye. Wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. Maybe I'm in denial or acceptance. You know, the stages of grief in which I've been through twice. Yeah, denial and acceptance look very similar.